Hi everyone, Ghost Prime back here. Today I'll be talking about Generation 1 Optimus Prime. I'll be going over a few of the differences between the knockoff and the original, and just do a little review on the big guy himself. Kind of a beat up box, but it is an error box. I don't know if anyone can see that. It has a little the little radar dish on the other side coming up from the bottom. This is a Bloated Fist Prime. The fists are a bit bigger and different, a little bit. The gun is that way too, as well as the gas pump piece. It doesn't have a rub sign. Some other little minor differences also, which I don't really need to get into here. But if you notice the box, so this is a Generation 1 box. If you're looking on eBay for a Generation 1 Optimus Prime, you come across an auction that is for something that says a vintage Generation 1 Optimus Prime, and it shows a picture of the box. The first thing you notice to see if it's a KO is this here, gray border, does go all the way around on a KO. It does not go all the way around on a vintage. It will have this here up above the trailer so you can see the whole trailer. Another thing that's a big obvious tell is the F Informers starts halfway through the A on the vintage, just lined up with this little nub piece here. On the knockoffs, it actually starts about here, or maybe right under the R. It's not where this is on the A, right above the A. Those are two very obvious things. Another thing is the stripe right here on a lot of the knockoffs are not applied. This was factory applied, and you'll never see a sealed one without a sticker here. That's very, very obvious. First things you could tell on the packaging just by looking at the front. If you only see the back, another tell is that ravage is cut off. Completely cut off right here on the top. Everything else looks very similar, but you'll see these two ravage images are cut off. That's one of those are the easiest ways to tell a knockoff, if it's in the box. I will go over a few other things if it's out of the box, if you'd just like to come over here. All right, here's a close-up on the box again. Generation 1 Optimus Prime, Bloated Fist version with the radar dish protruding onto the overside. The KOs don't have this little radar dish protruding on the other side. They're based off of the later boxes. This box has seen better days, but you gotta love a Generation 1 Optimus Prime box. Prime on the side. The back image, which is beautiful, just does have a little bit of flap crease. I love this artwork. The other side, the same picture as the previous. On the up to the top part, you got the transformation steps for the Prime cab. And the bottom, another picture of Prime. And you can see the radar dish here goes over the side. And this is an early version. There's a bit of a debate whether this Bloated Fist came first before I believe it was the light blue one without the rub sign. I think this one came first. This one is like the Diaclone one. So it has the metal plates in the trailer, and you can kind of see that by right here. It has these holes, which is where they slide the metal piece in. And you can see kind of some reflection there into the inside of the trailer. I'm going to get this thing unboxed. I'm not going to do it on the camera because the box is sort of falling apart a little bit. So I want to make sure that I don't do any extra damage to it. All right. Here he is. Here's the styrofoam packaging. Optimus Prime. This one does have a door that's kind of broken off. The little hinges are broken, which is a bummer. All right, so it comes with the paperwork. This is the catalog. Of all the 1984 Transformers toys with the picture on the back. Let's see if we can get that a little better. There's the battle seed. And then this is not the original bag. This is just a little bag to keep all the parts together in. So one thing to notice about this one is the missiles are gray. On later versions of Prime, they're black. The Bloated Fist version had gray missiles. And they're also short. On the commemorative reissue Prime, which is right here, you notice he has the nip stacks, they are very long to conform to US safety standards because they fire. And the original, well, back if it was brand new, would have all the wheels to roller on a sprue. I keep these off, so it's easier to put them back in there. So this is the roller for the Bloated Fist Prime. If you notice also, it is a gray plastic. Early versions of Prime had a gray roller, where later ones had either light blue or a dark blue. The dark blue is very similar to this color here. This reissue does come with a gray roller. However, it is painted silver. That's one way you could tell if you're looking for just a roller, the painted silver versus a regular silver. Plastic color, just full on plastic. I'll put on the wheels. All right. Roller with the wheels on. Put him aside. Adjust the camera a little bit so you can see down a little bit. There you go. See some more paperwork. This is the instructions for Prime. I don't have the spent sheet, the sticker sheet, but it's okay. I'm also missing the hose. See, here's what he comes with right here. The 2 fists, 4 gray missiles on a sprue, the gray roller, the bloated gun, bloated pump, and then there's either, some people call it a gas nozzle, some people said it's a welding nozzle. It looks a lot like a welding torch, but I'm not a welder, and I'm not sure if it's a gas nozzle. I think it could be either, so just up to your own imagination. And I could never fold these back right. Ooh, I did it the first time. Oh, no, I didn't. I can never fold these back right. I will play with that later. Here is the bloated gun. Now, the reason it's called a bloated gun is because, well, it's fat. If you look at the reissue gun, it is a thinner gun. Here's a comparison. There was one like this that came out with the later Primes. Earlier ones had a bloated gun. Some of the knockoffs will have both of these in the package. There was not a Prime that came with both of these in the package. It was either one or the other. That's one thing to look out for if you're opening up a Prime you got off eBay. Like, oh, I got a G1 Prime. Yay, right on. A vintage one, it's not a vintage one. It's just a G1 style Prime that wasn't made by Hasbro Takara. It's a third-party company making those. Supposedly, they're very good quality. I have not played with one. I do not have one. I don't know if I'm going to get one. Maybe the black version to do up like a Nemesis G1 Prime. Here is the gas pump, or maybe it's the fuel for the blowtorch. So it could be whatever you'd like. The nozzle. And a bloated fist. Now these are a dark blue. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like they're coming dark, really dark on my camera, but they're a very dark blue. Now they are different from the fist that came with the later Primes. If you notice the fist, the thumb doesn't do this, it's just straight. It's got a little bit of a different shape this direction. I could show you a comparison. This is one from the reissue Prime, which is very, very similar to the later Primes. Now, if you don't see the thumb, it turns around like that. The Bloated Fist is straight. So that's the difference. Also, a lot of the KOs will come with both of these. They'll come with this one and this one, which is wrong. That no vintage ones did. And here we have Prime himself. There he is. Now there are a couple differences between this one and the reissues or the Generation 2s or the knockoffs. And a lot of the times you'll see the knockoffs listed as a reissue, but they're really not. Reissues have special packaging. You won't see an official reissue come in a G1 style box yet. At least not for Optimus Prime. So let's take the trailer off here and look at Prime himself. So this is the Bloated Fist Prime. And a couple of ways you could tell that the Bloated Fist one is these little pieces here, even if they don't have the fists, are square where the stacks go into here. They are squared off. There is a shallow hole for the screw on the top, the lack of a rub sign. And there are a couple other things. These are slightly different to accommodate the fists. But of course, the Transform Prime is fairly easy. Extend the legs. Put out the feet. Take the arms, pull them back and around. And reveal the head. Then, the fists. I'm not going to throw that anyway. That one's really tight. Put the fists in. So this, Optimus Prime. Put the gun in there. So as a kid, I always hated how the gun was crooked. And I never figured out why until I actually got one. This is as long as the actual handle, this handle they put in there. And you could kind of get it to stay straight, but it's barely in there at all. Looks okay, it works, it's barely in there. For comparison's sake, this is Bloated Fist Prime with the 2002 Hasbro reissue with the snip stacks. As you can see, these are short. These are on all of the Hasbro reissues for the U.S. market. There are a few different ones of these. They have different color reds. One has a lighter trailer instead of the darker silver color. There's another one that Hasbro did. This was the Pepsi Prime, which I'm not sure if they were available in a store, but it was for the Transform Your Summer sweepstakes for the first Transformers movie. This was actually a winning one. And then Generation 1 Optimus Prime. This one came with a black trailer. I don't have the trailer. It came with a voice box and other accessories. I don't have the fists either. This one has a lighter color blue for the legs. And you can see here, it has a Generation 2 Autobot logo printed on the back of the leg. It's one way you can always figure out if you're buying one that that's loose, if it's a Generation 2 or Generation 1. That's an easy way to figure out. Maybe you're buying one on eBay and you're buying a Generation 1, you see just the robot out, and maybe robot and trailer. You don't know if it's a reissue or not. If you could ask to see the copyright stamp. The copyright stamps will say Japan for the originals, and for the reissues, they're made in China. The KOs, actually say Japan or France, and the only one made in France that I know of has the red feet. And that one's super rare. So if you find one of those for a good price, get it, because it's rare. You're going to have something truly special. So this is Optimus Prime's trailer. There are some minor changes between this one and the later ones, mainly in the hinges here, the ones that are actually molded into the door. They're very subtle, though. I don't expect you to remember those. You see always these here are not present on the later issues without the metal plates in it. Also, let's see if I can get a good view here in the light. So if you see the copyright stamp there, it says Takara, Japan, with nothing inside the hole. That, it means it's a Bloated Fist trailer. The later ones had T2, 3, 4, and then I believe there, or maybe not 4, 2, 1, 2, and 3. I don't remember. There's a T in there. Pretty much all these trailers are the same. They do the same things. This trailer does have a broken hinges here, and watch out for that. The Bloated Fist has shorter hinges that tend to break a lot easier. I happened to get this for a good price from a friend of mine. I bought it this way, which is something that it is what it is. Otherwise, this is really nice tight joints. So as you see, oh, missile. There is this little repair bay thing. One of the things that this version had that the other ones lack, not only does it have a gray roller, it has a gray launching mechanism. And you can just push down, and it's not very powerful, but it does work. The Diaclone ones were really super powerful from what I understand. This one's not so much, but it does have a spring in it. It does work. It's still a cool little thing. This here, these here are metal plates, stickers on these metal plates. You can see how they're. Let me get closer in there. Alright, so excuse me for this shaky camera I'm holding with one hand. So you can see how these kind of move back and forth. These are the metal pieces. Then he has his little repair bot here with missiles that kind of launch. And a little spot here for the Diaclone driver. This was something left over from Diaclone. All the early Transformers had leftover parts from Diaclone because that's what they came for, Diaclone or Diacron. They also could fit in these little spots here. Kind of a cool little play accessory. And I'll be right back with the reissue trailer so I can do some little bit of comparisons. This is the 2002 Commemorative Series Optimus Prime trailer, and this is the Bloated Fist trailer. As you can see, they're very similar. Stickers are the same. It has a silver. You can see what I'm talking about here. Silver plastics versus silver painted roller. I believe this roller is actually painted over the blue color. Or maybe even a black. It's hard to tell in the light. Where this one is completely silver plastic. You can see the differences. Oh yeah, there you go, blue. The launching mechanisms, like the later primes, it's a black color instead of silver. However, all these are the regular color, are the blue, the darker blue, and the earlier releases. You can see this has long missiles. I kind of like it. I think it looks menacing that way. It's the only ones with the long missiles I actually am okay with. It does have this. This is the piece, the hose is what I'm missing for the Bloated Fist one. As you could tell, let's do a little comparison between these gas pump pieces, the bloated versus regular. Excuse the autofocus on this camera. I'm just got a new camera and I'm still experimenting with it. But this one does not. This one has a launching mechanism, but it does not have a spring. So it does come out, but you have to pull it out. A couple of little minor differences. I'm not sure if these are the same on Primes or this is just for the commemorative. There's a hole here, no hole here. Otherwise, these are incredibly similar colors of plastic, similar blue colors. They're very, very close to each other. All right, here are the two trailers put together back in trailer mode. This is the reissue, and this is the Generation 1 Vintage. There are a few differences. As you can tell, the stickers are a bit lighter on this one, darker blue on this one. Like I showed you earlier, the stamp is a little different. See if I can get in there. You can see it says "Made in China," and it does not have a T or anything in the post for the cab. However, it does roll well. They both roll very well. And the plastic seems to be a tad bit lighter. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. And in the back. And one more thing that the trailer can do is become a repair bay for Optimus Prime himself. Check this out. Optimus Prime in his repair bay mode. This is really cool. One of the things that this piece does here is it's got this little this nub on the back here, and that goes back in these little pieces behind him. And then the hose gets in there, connects to this other piece. This is why I think it's a welding gun, is because it goes here. And you could fix them. There's a little hand here that moves around. It has the pinchers open and close. It extends. You could grab. A lot of playability with this original Optimus Prime. I'm really glad I eventually got one. I was in my 30s when I did. But he's a really, really cool figure. Anyone should have him who loves Prime. To summarize how you can find out if it's a KO or not, if you look at the box, the A and the F, the F should be right in the middle of the A. No gray border on the top of the window. Those are the two easiest way to figure out if you're getting a KO or not on eBay. Definitely you can find it. If it does not have this stripe factory applied, you can see it through the window of the box. It's another easy way to tell. There's a bunch of different KOs, colors, clear. They kind of have the gold chrome. There's black one, which is not the JAFCON one. That comes in a US style box. The JAFCON one didn't, so that's a good way to tell on that one. But there's a lot of KOs out there. Just be careful when you're buying and know what you're getting into. That's the most important part. Rub signs are not on some of them, but are on other ones, not on the Bloated Fist, but you'll know by the shallow screw. The KOs don't have a screw. The heads are glued on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like, let me know if you'd like to see some more vintage. I got some plenty of vintage Transformers back here I could do reviews on, or you like more modern Transformers, masterpieces, classics, generations, all those chuddy figures. So please check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you again soon.